we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to do the True Crime Friday or Crime Files Friday, or somebody come up with a catchy name, put it down in the comments, and if I like it, we'll roll with it. But anyway, so the case that I want to talk about this week, I'm going to do this on Fridays. It's going to be some kind of True Crime Friday, Crime File Friday, something. But every Friday, take a look at a case or update on a case and talk about it. So let's talk about the Idaho 4 here. So, those of you who may not know, there were four students on November 13th of this past year were stabbed in their home on 1122 King Road. They were Ethan Chapin, his girlfriend Xana Kernodle, roommate Madison Mogan, and friend and eventually moving to Texas, Kaylee Goncalves. So the on on the night, police think that this crime happened between 4 a.m. and 4:25. And Kohlberger, who they suspect to be Kohlberger, took his white Elantra from his dorm or apartment in Pullman, Washington, at Washington State University to Moscow on the night of the murder and went in through the back sliding door in black, dressed in black with the black mask, and started going up to the third floor where he took out Kaylee and Maddie, and then through the commotion, and this is kind of speculation, and allegedly Kohlberger came back down the stairs, confronted Ethan, and there was a what I've seen quoted as a mighty struggle, taking taking Ethan out, and then taking care of Xana Kernodle. And through all this, apparently, or I don't want to say apparently, according to the affidavit, the surviving roommate on the second floor, the same floor that Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin were killed, was Dylan Mortensen. And she claimed that in the affidavit that she poked her head out three times. Once because she thought Kaylee was playing with a dog. Another time because she thought that Ethan and Chapin were fighting, or Ethan and Xana were fighting or something, partying, something. And then heard some kind of noise, poked her head out again, and that's where saw allegedly Kohlberger. So that is the story in the affidavit. And then he proceeded to he left Dylan Mortensen and potentially, and how, and it's a little concerning that we don't know for sure whether the other surviving roommate was there or not. I've heard reports that she wasn't, she had friends, maybe she didn't. I don't know. There's a lot we don't know about the other surviving roommate. And I think that but I think, excuse me, but the next morning, 911 had not been called until approximately 11 ish, 11 o'clock ish. And yeah, 11 o'clock. And Kohlberger, who allegedly Kohlberger was going back to Moscow at around 9 a.m., just 5 hours after. And and this is according to the affidavit. And then, according to, I believe it was Banfield, Ashley Banfield, that Ethan Chapin's friend was the one that originally that found the Ethan and Xana originally at around 11 a.m., approximately 8 hours the after the actual murders, and Dylan seeing some dark figure with bushy eyebrows with an athletic build walk out. And I guess I don't know if it said in the affidavit or rumor. She was okay. She stood frozen and in shock, according to court documents. So here's the problem. I have heard that she called friends during this time. She was doing this, that, the other. And I, if you're frozen and scared, you wouldn't be calling friends. And I also don't believe, and I also have a hard time believing that she would be frightened and scared to the point where she could not move unless she was close enough to be seen. And if that was the case, then why did she live? Because you would have to assume that the house was dark, or otherwise I don't see somebody trying to go break in at that point, at that stage, or trying to engage with somebody else after just taking out Madison and Kaylee. And this could be a myriad of reasons. I think the what actually happened, as far as with Dylan and what happened, is I honestly think she was asleep the entire time. I could be wrong. I don't know the phone records. I don't know. But what is a logical conclusion that I think actually happened with Dylan is she was asleep the whole time. She was woken up by, I would imagine, Ethan's friend freaking out or whatever the case. And Dylan was woken up by sirens or whatever. What happened? I don't know. What happened? The sheriff's hounding her to give some sort of answer, and she came up with a very generic and open kind of description that could be anything, anyone. And it just so happened to fit Kohlberger. I believe that's more plausible than Dylan Mortensen running a whole drug ring involving FBI agents and this and that and the other. I I find that far less likely. That I find my theory a far more likely. Or she had headphones in, listening to music, something. I don't think she ever poked her head out. I don't think she ever I don't think she ever poked her head out to figure out what was going on. She may have heard something that she thought was nothing at the time, but I I don't think that she actually poked her head out or may have even been conscious. So with that being said, I don't know if it's Kohlberger that did it. There's not enough evidence that we know of in public right now to convict. The Elantra, it's too common of a car. It's a white Honda Elantra. There was 3,000 of them in Moscow, 11,000 in the state, something like that. Just an absurd number. Extremely common car seen driving down the road. I find you're gonna have to find DNA either on Kohlberger's clothes that he may have been wearing that night, some kind of blood evidence on his clothes or something in the car. You need something to tie this together, or Kohlberger is going to be able to just say, yeah, I went to the house. I was at the house that night. I went and got drugs and then I left. I don't know what happened after. And it could be just simply, just be that simple. Yes, I was there and I was getting drugs, whatever, and he's home free. So you can't just prove that he was there. That's what the touch DNA on the knife sheath is. Proof that he was there. So he's got to concede that. He does not, however, have to prove that he they still have to prove that he was the one that could have possibly done this. And that no, beyond a shadow of a doubt. And right now, with what we have in public right now, we do not. It is all very circumstantial, very sketchy. And until we find something that ties this together with blood DNA or some sort of DNA that only a killer would have, whatever that would be, we can Kohlberger cannot be convicted as of right now. Now, I believe in Exhibit A or whatever, there's like 1,000+ pages. So obviously, as you would expect, they are holding a lot back. Is it enough, though, to get a conviction? And that is the multi-million-dollar question. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is the Dylan Hildreth Show. And this was True Crime Friday. Yeah, we're going with Case File Friday. That sounds better. But anyway, we'll see you.